So about a week ago, I was in my Discord, just scrolling through the different Discord communities and conversations that I'm a part of, when I came across this conversation between two fellow lo-fi artists, XX Jazwani and Benjamin Beats. XX Jazwani went on to say, there are artists in different genres using AI to generate music, and I'm scared that lo-fi is a genre that will be the easiest for AI models to generate, given its simplistic elements. So having seen this interaction between these two, I decided to chime in. I said, I think AI is definitely a threat to lo-fi producers and beats, but it can also be an opportunity to work on building real fans of your music and creating better music. I think the way to beat AI is to start putting more time and effort into your music and to make it more sonically interesting, as well as developing your own signature style/sound. I also think that you should find other ways to cultivate fans by using alternate streaming services, i.e. Bandcamp or SoundCloud, which both have better monetization opportunities. I just think that streaming services are becoming bot infested, and clearly people like Lo-Fi Fruits and other lo-fi labels are taking advantage of the streaming model, so I think it's time that most of us producers really start building our own brands and platforms up to retain and cultivate fans. That's my 2 cents. So after having that really interesting conversation, actually, it inspired me to want to make this video. So yeah, this is the wider implications of AI being used specifically in the lo-fi hip-hop community. Alright, so AI is not a new conversation, and the discussion of AI within the wider music industry is also not a new conversation. It's actually the conversation of the town in the past year. The conversation surrounding AI has been around for a while, but I definitely think the conversation has been has pretty much exploded since AI art has been, a topic of conversation. And pretty much now, if you guys haven't really noticed, AI art is kind of normalized now. I see it all over my Instagram feed, and it's pretty normal now, which I think is also a reason why producers and beat makers, like myself as well, have started to get worried about AI music and AI elements within music being normalized. So here are different ways that I think AI is going to be implemented and used into lo-fi. The first, sync and music libraries. So I've seen this. There's a couple websites that I've seen have started to implement AI within sync and music libraries, and it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. Pretty soon people are going to be able to just generate tracks or just buy AI beats from companies that companies just generated, and they can start using it in their YouTube videos, vlogs, Instagram reels, TikToks, and that's going to be a pretty disruptive thing, especially for a lot of producers, a lot of lo-fi producers, and just a lot of producers in general. They really want to get into sync licensing, and a lot of them are already successfully within sync and music licensing. A lot of that is also a lot of those producers is bread and butter and most of their income as well. And I can see this starting to affect that in the future. And it could be it's pretty scary. So definitely the next way is definitely going to be through Spotify playlists. We actually saw somewhat of the precursor to this, I think, a few years ago. I think around 2020 to 2021, there was a controversy surrounding the Spotify Lo-Fi Beats playlists. Many of them started hosting these faceless, quote-unquote fake artists on these playlists, and there was like like 30 to like 40 tracks of like these faceless artists that had like thousands and millions of streams on one song, and in turn added to their monthly listeners, but they only had like 4 followers. And this became an issue because these tracks were being pushed into the playlists, and therefore the actual lo-fi artists that were placed on those big Spotify playlists started getting pushed further and further down the playlist, which caused a lot of lo-fi artists to lose a lot of monthly listeners, and it pretty much stunted their growth. I remember reading on Reddit about a guy who was making a pretty good living making beats and uploading them to Spotify, and then these faceless like artists just all of a sudden popped up on the big playlist that this person was added to, and he said that their income got cut in half because of it, and their monthly listeners got cut in half because of it too. Also, the AI company Boomy hosts a platform that allows people to put in prompts to produce lo-fi beats. And these are the most prominent people I can think of when I think of AI kind of infiltrating into Spotify. They have a Spotify playlist full of these AI generated beats. They curated their own playlist, and I think you guys should give it a listen. It's actually pretty interesting. Obviously, a lot of the beats aren't really there yet, but I think it's interesting to see how the beats are kind of arranged and what the different like sounds are that are AI prompted. So yeah, another way is definitely going to be through plugins and VSTs. I've already seen this. I want to give a mention to Emergent Drums by Audiolab and Melody Studio. These are two music plugins that I've seen heavily use AI. Emergent Drums uses AI generated drum samples and sounds, and Melody Studio AI generates melodies that you can use in your music. And this isn't actually really surprising because I mean Ozone and a lot of the Isotope stuff kind of has like these presets on them that you can just click and there you go, track mixed and mastered, and pretty much like that. So it's not really a surprise to see that these things are evolving. Plugins are going to start evolving and incorporating a lot of things that can do something for you. So the thing about lo-fi beats is that they're very simplistic. That's the whole point. It's lo-fi, low fidelity, imperfect. And they can be rather simple and easy to make. Sometimes this arises a lot of backlash from some of the wider producer and music industry space. A lot of people, especially when it comes to like sleepy lo-fi beats, that they're easy to make, they're simplistic, and they don't take a lot of time. And that's partly true, especially because of how simple lo-fi beats can be easy to produce and make. There's a lot of lo-fi labels that are a little bit shady. Not all of them. I think most lo-fi labels are pretty great. I've had the pleasure to work with a few like Chill Moon, Lafkin, and those people. They're really dope. But there's also some of the shadier lo-fi labels that take advantage of how simple lo-fi is. And they do things like bot Spotify playlists, and you know what I'm saying? They pay someone for a track, or they pay someone for a track and then they rename the track into something else. They put it in their Spotify playlist that's botted, and they're just generating thousands of dollars each month and stuff like that. And it's prevalent in the community. You can look it up and you can find it, and that's terrifying because now with AI, a lot of these labels, they can just be like, screw getting artists. We can just generate lo-fi beats ourselves and put them out and put them in our botted Spotify playlist and pretty much just funnel income like that. And I can see that it's a really huge concern, and I can definitely see that happening, unfortunately. And the thing is, as AI continues to evolve and make better music and start sounding more realistic, a lot of these shadier labels are going to capitalize on that. Unfortunately, it's going to get worse, you know what I'm saying? One example that comes to mind is apparently this label called Lo-Fi Fruits, which I mentioned earlier in my response. They've been accused of some stuff. This is all allegedly. I'm not going to say whether this is all true or not. But apparently, you know, there's a whole Reddit post about it. Apparently, they've botted playlists. They've tried to take down other playlists. And also, they've also tried to put out an AI-generated album, and they got a bunch of backlash for it, and they took it down. So, yeah, you know, it's unfortunate that stuff like that happens in the community, because lo-fi beats, contrary to popular belief, can be very profitable. You know what I'm saying? Especially because they fit so well into a playlist that you just put one lo-fi beat in a popular Spotify playlist and that track could take off, you know. Now, so far, what I've been talking about, it seems pretty doom and gloom. A part of it is, but I read something on LinkedIn. I'm gonna see if I can put the post up, see if I can find it. If I can't find it, I'm really sorry. But I read something on LinkedIn, and it said that the next 10 years of the independent music space is going to be about communities and fan bases, along the lines of that. And I genuinely believe that. I think that there are ways to keep up with AI in a good way, and I mainly think that it's going to be through 1, building your brand, 2, content creation, 3, building communities, small fan bases, and 4, stepping away from streaming services and selling your music. Also, spending more time on your beats, adding in more unique experiences and collaborations. And I think those are ways that lo-fi producers can catch up with AI, because the thing about AI is that there's a reason why companies, when they start really implementing AI, there's a reason why they're not going to tell you that it's AI. You know what I'm saying? Because people still love the heart and soul that goes into music. And the thing is, there's always going to be an audience out there that's for that. And also, I think the audience, the music audience, is going to continue to evolve. I feel like there's going to be tons of people that enjoy listening to AI music and music created by real people at the same time. And so I just think that it's going to be an interesting world in the next couple years, especially in the lo-fi space. You know, there's going to be some good stuff, there's going to be some bad stuff, but that's just kind of the nature of just the ever-evolving content economy, independent musician economy, and stuff like that. You know, there's going to be some good things in there, and there's going to be some bad things in there. So, yeah, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. So yeah, thanks for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I think I'll hopefully start making more content in the future.